YouTube, what it is, it's your boy Retro Quin, and y'all see the title, man. 2025 has finally come to an end, man. This year I kind of blew by really, really fast. And I was thinking about it, like how exactly I wanted to do this video, because I went through and just checked out all of the sneakers that I picked up for 2025. And originally I was gonna do a top 10 or like a top 5 for the year. But when I went through everything, I seen that I had only picked up, I think like 16, 15, 16, 17 pairs, so something like that. So I figured I'd just go ahead and show all of my pickups that I got for 2025, or at least everything that I decided to keep. And I do have everything over here on the floor right next to me, so I could just pick them up and show them to y'all. So that's why y'all seeing a lot of holes and stuff behind me. But we will go ahead and just start with a few of the sneakers that I do have up on display. We'll start with the first one being the Chicago 1 lows. And you know, one of the things that made me really want to get this particular sneaker is first off, for the simple fact that the Chicago 1, like just that colorway, it's a very iconic colorway and one of my favorite colorways in the Jordan 1s. But another thing that I had kind of noticed was, like, as I was getting older, I found myself kind of leaning more so towards like the lower cut shoes and stuff. I really didn't want to go too much into like the high cuts and stuff like that, in which, you know, like I still like the Jordan 1 highs and stuff. I do have a few that I did pick up, but it's just one of those things where the Jordan 1, like just the low, it just, I don't know, it do it for me. And I might end up doubling up on this one because they did go on sale. So I don't know. I might end up getting the double up on those. But that's the Chicago 1 lows. The next one is these babies right here, man. Ferrari 14s, man. A lot of these sneakers I haven't worn yet, just done their own feet and just put them up on display, just kind of put them off to the side. But Ferrari 14s, man, it really ain't too much that we need to say on this one. I remember the first time that they actually released, and I want to say the first time they came out, that's the issue they was having with like a lot of the dye and stuff bleeding over and stuff. So I didn't get those, and if I'm not mistaken, the next time that they released, I don't know if I just missed them or if I was just, you know, just not willing to take that chance because of the dye issue. I could be wrong though, but I feel like these released twice. But needless to say, I do have them in hand now, and I do have a story time up on my channel about these, because I thought that they stole my shoes in shipment, and I thought that you know, like might have got scammed or something. I don't know. I was tripping out because that was the first time I had dealt with a particular shipping issue like that. So I do have that story time up on my channel if y'all want to check it out. Next shoe across the top is obviously the Gamma 11s. They just released what I think like a week or two ago at the time of me recording this, but another shoe that don't really need, like, you know, no explanation for, man. And I do have my own feet up on the channel. I think I do have a review up on all of these sneakers actually. But with those Gammas, man, it was really just one of those things where I wanted to get those back in my collection, because I did sell my I think it was 2013, I believe. I sold my 2013 pair, so just wanted to get a fresh pair, a new pair back into the collection. And honestly, y'all have kind of noticed that with a lot of these sneakers that I do show y'all, because I've had probably almost every last one of these. But it was really just one of those things where I sold a lot of my older sneakers from my collection, and this year was really one of those years where I got a chance to just go back and grab a lot of the stuff that I did have, or stuff that I might have had on my list that I had planned on getting. And when I seen that they was gonna release, I just went ahead and just grabbed just the new release. But I got them all right here. First one, powder blue ones, and which if I'm not mistaken, I believe this is the reimagined powder blue one, if I'm not mistaken, where they was doing the thing where they kind of give us like that like sale midsole or so, just to give it that aged or worn type look. And then we do have, I don't know if y'all can see it on the camera, but we do have like just the cracks and stuff like right here on the heel or on the toe area as well, just to kind of kind of go into that whole age look and stuff like that, in which me personally, I prefer just to have the original shoe, the original design, and then just let it age with time, on its own, as opposed to having to purchase one like that. But I did have the powder blues ones that came out, I don't know, it's been probably like 10 or 12 years ago or so now. But I did have those, and that was one that I sold. So that was a reason for me, just picking up. Even though this is a reimagine, it still gave me a chance to get that powder blue colorway back into my collection. Next up, we got Flu Game 12s, man. Hey, another shoe. It ain't nothing to talk about. Hey, another super iconic shoe, man. Y'all know about the Flu Game, where Jordan was sick and still was able to give us a near, I don't want to say perfect performance, but we were still able to get a great performance. And there are stories, kind of going around that it was actually food poison that he had from pizza the night before or something like that. But hey, I don't know. All I know is got the Flu Games in hand, and I did have the last release on these. I remember I actually tripled up on these, crazy enough. But I ended up, I want to say I sold 2 pair at SneakerCon and ATL. I just can't remember what year that actually was, because it's been years ago, man, since I had a lot of these sneakers, and just to be able to get these back into my collection, and just kind of re-sparking a lot of those memories. But definitely feel good to have these back in the collection as well. So next up, we got the Cool Gray 9s, and this one, I think this is one that this one of the few that I actually have worn since I picked it up. But with the Cool Gray 9s, this was one of those ones where I had it, on my list to get, and around, I'll say about 4, maybe 5 years ago, when I was really getting ready to pull the trigger, I had seen where prices were upwards of 5, 6, 7. That's when the resale prices were just ridiculous on sneakers and stuff. And there are still a few pairs that got crazy resale prices, but I would imagine you could probably go on GOAT right now and get a DS pair of these for, I'm gonna say maybe 300. Could be less. I don't know, because I don't really keep up with the resale market or nothing like that. If I want the shoe, I go ahead and grab it, and if I'm not able to get it, then a lot of times I'll just wait until they re-release it, because I noticed that they re-releasing these shoes with a little bit of a higher frequency, as far as just the years, instead of waiting 40 years or so, or since the original release and stuff. They coming out 4 or 5 years apart and stuff. So, and which it has been a while since this one came out, but this was definitely one that I had on my list to get. So I'm glad that I got a chance to pick that one up 2025. Now next up, we got the Nigel Sylvester Air Jordan 1 Low. And this one, I did wear this one as well. I've actually worn this one a few times. This is actually one of my shoes that I wish I could have doubled up on this year, because it kind of like with that reimagined style, and just the design of it and the story behind it and stuff. I wanted to have 2 pairs so that I could kind of not necessarily beat one pair, but I could wear one pair, and if they did, kind of get beat, I know that I have another pair on ice. So more than likely, I will be going back to grab a second pair of the Nigel 1 Lows. But this might be my favorite pickup of the year, or at least I'll probably say top 3. And the reason why I say that is because it's just something different. I love the storyline behind it, and same thing I told y'all with Chicago's. It's just having that low top sneaker, something that you can just kind of throw on. It's really, really comfortable, and you can just be just low key with it, man, so to speak, and not have to worry about doing too much. And especially with it being that classic black, white, and red colorway, it makes it a lot easier to match up with a lot of things too. But Nigel 1 Lows definitely high up on my list for pickups in 2025, and I definitely got to get another pair. All right, now this one might be controversial for a lot of people, but I'm gonna probably say that this is my favorite pickup of 2025. And I know I just said with the Nigels that it was top 3, and that was because this one is definitely in that top 3. The Ja Morant, this is his Ja 3, if I'm not mistaken. This is his 3rd design, and for me, it just kind of when I seen that it was coming out, it was one of those things where it kind of sparked that feeling that I had for sneakers again, and in which now I've been in the shoe game for so many years now, just picking up sneakers, having that excitement. And now when I pick up a sneaker, it's just like, it's almost like I'm just going through the motion. Like, I see a sneaker coming out, grab it, pick it up, throw it in the collection, and just keep on pushing. But with this particular shoe, it's like he gave us just a completely different design. And when it comes to like the Nike basketball line or whatever, to me, we haven't really been getting like, a lot of crazy designs and stuff like that. And when I hoop on court and stuff, I like to have crazy stuff like this on feet. And I know a lot of y'all are new or might not remember, but I've always talked about the KD6 silhouette. That's my favorite basketball silhouette to hoop in. I love the low cut design, and I love like all of the crazy colorways and stuff that he have. And I think that the KD6 is supposed to be re-releasing next year, if I'm not mistaken. So I get a chance to get a lot of those back in my collection. But this Ja 3, man, like I said, I got the review up on my channel for this one as well. And I know a lot of people gonna think that it's controversial. Like, hey man, you got all these Jordans, all these different retros, crazy designs. You just showed us the Nigels, but you saying this one is your favorite one. And that's what I like about the sneaker game. Like, everybody don't have the same favorite sneakers and stuff. And I like the controversy behind it, cause like it's easy for people to be like dang, you saying this is your favorite one out of all of the sneakers that you picked up this year. And yes, that is my favorite one, man. The Ja 3 Black Cat 4s. A lot of hype around this one. A lot of crazy like fights. People doing all man. I done seen all type of stuff on the internet. Like, people literally still sending me like different little clips and stuff about the fights and stuff that people had over this particular shoe. And it was crazy for the Gamma 11s as well, but people was really going crazy about this sneaker. And I remember, I think it was 2020. It wasn't that long ago, but I remember when this sneaker first released, and it had the Jumpman on the back instead of the Nike Air branding. And it was, I looked at it, definitely had the chance to get it, but I was just like, all black shoe, I don't really need it. And at the time I had like, I don't know how many like all black sneakers, or just a lot of sneakers similar, not similar, but like just the everyday sneaker that I could wear with everything. So I seen it and I was just like, nah, I'm good on that. And then years later, resale prices started skyrocketing upwards of 800. I seen some like maybe pushing like 1,000. And I'm like, bro, this is an all black Jordan. Like, why y'all going so crazy about this? But I am glad that I did get this back, get this in my collection. I really just grabbed it, honestly, just off the strength, just to have that all black sneaker in my collection. Cause the crazy thing with this one, it was I was actually planning to get a pair of all black Forces. I had been looking at them, and of course, hey, they black Forces. Y'all know the stigma behind them and all of that stuff. I ain't on that YN stuff or none of that. But I just had been wanting to get me a pair of all black Forces. I actually need me a pair of all white ones as well. But I was gonna pick up both of those, and then I started seeing rumors that the Black Cat 4s was coming out, and I was like, Black Cat 4s, black Forces. I think I'll just go ahead and get the Black Cat 4s and just call it a day. Which I still might get the black Forces, but I don't know, man. But we got Black Cat 4s right here. People going crazy about them. And the other thing too was a lot of people talking about the squeaking with the eyelets and stuff like that. That was a crazy thing as well. And I'm like, where in the world did this come from? But like I said in my pickup video, literally loosen up the sneakers and the squeaking is gone. So we not gonna even relight that fire. But we got Black Cat 4s. All right, man, we're getting into like more of the heavy hitters, man. We got white cement 4s, and let me grab my other one. So I do have my original white cement 4s from, what year is this? I do not remember. So this says 2015. So this is my 2015 cement 4 pair that I have. Beat these up pretty good, cause like I said years ago when I first got into sneaker YouTube and just like the creating and all of that, those are definitely top 5 in my entire collection. White cement 4s, and I think I've had about 3 or 4 pairs, if I'm not mistaken. But I did sell some of my older pairs that I had, and I actually did double up on this pair that released this year, but I ended up selling those as well because I was like, there's really no need for me to start back doubling up on sneakers and stuff like that, especially if I still have my 2015 pair and they in good enough condition I could still rock them and stuff. But definitely felt good to be able to get a crispy pair in hand to be able to rock once my 2015 pair just deteriorate on me, man. But glad to have these back in the collection yet again, kind of like a double up, but we got the white cement 4s. Okay, we got another one, Taxi 12s. This is another sneaker that's top 5 in my entire sneaker collection, and I do have my 2013 pair right here. And like I said in my video, I did like how in the 2013 pair it was a lot more tumbled, just on the materials and stuff like that, and which these I almost didn't get the 2025 pair, even up to the minute of me just accepting my my pickup so that I could go and get it. I think I got these from Foot Locker, I can't remember, but I was really debating on it because I knew that I still had my 2013 pair and they was still I don't want to say pristine condition, but they still pretty good, in which I have worn those a lot. I know it probably don't seem like it, but that is top 5 in my collection. And I did go ahead and pull the trigger, and I am glad that I did, because same thing like I said with Cement 4s, it gives me a chance to have a fresh pair in my collection. So once my older pair is just beat up or just kind of unwearable, I have a fresh pair on ice ready to go. And I think I don't know if these ended up going on sale, but I feel like now a lot of the Jordans, especially Jordans like these back in 2013, they was not making it to the shelves. Resale ridiculous on everything and stuff, and the fact that you could just literally walk in the store and pick up a Taxi 12 now, it's so crazy to me. I'm glad that everybody can get the shoes that they want and stuff now, but it's still just crazy to me, thinking about how times are now as opposed to how times were back then. But we got Taxi 12s right here as well. All right, we got another baby right here in hand, man. The Great 5s. Yes, Great 5s. Definitely glad to have these back in the collection, and actually got the Nike Air branding on these. And I really don't know just the story behind the Great 5s or anything other than Will Smith had them on in Bel Air, in which I want to say hasn't been too long ago for these either though, but I remember they released the Great 5s, but it was without the laces, because if I'm not mistaken, Will Smith actually wore his without the laces on the show. So they released these without the laces, and I remember people were just punching holes into the shoes and adding their own laces and stuff to it just to still give it that, just that, I guess, regular feel. But I knew that I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to, buy into the hype, I guess, or just go through the whole thing of putting holes in shoes and stuff like that. So the fact that these came back out this year, I seen it. I did have I want to say these came out in 2013 as well, or 2012, somewhere around there. But I remember back then when the Jordan 5s were coming out, they was straight cardboard action, straight cardboard. They was hard, like how plush and everything that the toe box is on this one, completely different back then. The shape was way different back then, and that's kind of been the running theme really with everything that I have in my collection this year. And I talked about it in literally every video that I uploaded. But the shape is finally, I think, where it needs to be, or at least better than what I remember it being when I first started collecting sneakers and stuff. But one of the other reasons why I got this particular shoe is because I sold my older Great 5s that I did get, because I ended up back then I was extremely crazy about getting dirt or any type of scuffs, scratches, anything on my sneakers. And I remember when I was at work, I ended up getting a small scuff right here on my toe box, and it was one of those things where literally no one could see it. And I always talk to y'all, when you walking with your sneakers on and stuff, people not just up close dang bro, you got a little scratch on your shoe right there. They not doing that. But it was one of those things where I knew it was on my shoe, and it was irking me every single time I put the shoe on because I knew that it was there. So I ended up selling it. And back then I used to keep my sneakers in my boxes before I got like my drop front and stuff. And I remember my receipt was still in my box, and that black ink ended up rubbing off onto the side of the sole as well. So that was another reason that made me kind of get rid of them as well. But definitely glad that I got a chance to get these back in the collection for 2025. The Air Jordan 5 Grapes. We're gonna keep the fives going, man. We got another heavy hitter, black metallic fives, man. And hey, we ain't even got to speak on these. We do not have to speak on these. And I still do have my, like I told y'all, a lot of these sneakers I haven't worn yet, just done the on feet, and I just put them up for later. But I still have the black and the white laces in these. Y'all can let me know down below too, cause I'm slick kind of feeling these white laces. But I know when I get ready to rock them, I'm gonna take the white laces out and just keep the black ones in. Cause I always tell y'all, I'm one of those like whatever the shoe comes with, like the original lace or whatever, or the one that makes the most sense, I just keep that in. Which I enjoy seeing people do lace swaps and stuff like that, but it's just like lace swaps just not for me as far as like just rocking and stuff. That's just one of those things I look at from afar and be like, hey, yeah, that's kind of tough, but I don't rock mine like that and stuff. But we do have black metallic fives. This was another one that came out with the different like the newer or updated shape. I did have the ones from whenever they released the last time, in which these got the Nike Air branding. The last pair that released as well, they had the Nike branding also. But again, it was just that shape back then. And if I'm not mistaken, I want to say when the black metallic fives last released, that was around the time when they was doing like I think it was like that. I can't remember the name that they was calling, but it was like, it wasn't reimagined. It was man, I'm gonna need y'all to help me. But they were pretty much just saying that everything was coming out with like better material. But from what I remember, the black metallic fives, I think they was like I want to say they was like 220 the last time they released or something, which I can't remember how much these cost. I think like 235 or something like that. But I remember the black metallic fives that released, they was a little bit on the pricey side, but I do remember them being a little bit better with the quality and stuff like that. But we got black metallic fives. All right, we're gonna go ahead and round it off with the last Air Jordan 5, which is the fire red fives with the black tongue, and we do have the 2-3 right here on the side as well. And I can't remember, but I think when I done my review, I want to say that I was saying that I kind of like the lace lock out of the sneakers, cause typically every time I get a pair of fives, I literally I loosen my laces and I just leave my lace lock right here on the end. But when I done my own feet this time, I just took the lace lock completely off and just kind of bust them down. And honestly, I do think that I like this look better. So I'm glad that I actually done that and, got a chance to see what it looks like. So going forward, when I do rock my fives, I might do it without the lace lock, but I don't know. But I remember like the last time these released, I think they came out the same year or like a year or two apart from the fire red fives with the silver tongue. And back then, because I want to say, I feel like that was the year of the fives, if I'm not mistaken, but they had like white cement, not white cement, but fire red fives. They had the metallic fives, black metallic, white with with the white with the silver metallic tongue. I want to say Laney fives came out that year. Great fives, like that was just the time when a lot of the fives was coming out, and all of them was coming out with that horrible shape on them, man, horrible shape. But that was a great time though. I definitely remember that. But what made me pass on these was the fact that I had the fire red fives with the silver tongue, and I was like, it's really no need for me to get those and these right here. In which looking back on it, I'm surprised that I didn't pick these up, because back then I was pretty much like literally grabbing anything that hit the shelves, like anything. Cause I want to say that I was kind of like, I think I had built up my collection pretty good, but it was a time where I was trying to, kind of take that next leap with like sneaker collecting. And like I was just so in love with, like, I guess like just that chase, that hunger, picking up the sneaker, camping out, building those different relationships, even taking L's, like, because it made me want to work harder for the next release and stuff that come out. So I just remember that time when like the Fire Reds and like just all of those sneakers and stuff were coming out. So definitely glad to have these in the collection, and once again just kind of bring back some of those older memories from years ago. But we got Fire Red 5s. We got last two, Shattered Backboard 1s and Bread 11 Lows. We'll go with Bread 11 Lows first. I did have the last release of these that came out, and I think this was one that Jordan didn't. I'm trying to think. He didn't play. I know he played in the Bread Highs, but as far as the Bread Lows, I can't remember, like, was he spotted in these, or it was something with these, man. I can't remember. Y'all have to let me know down below in the comment section. But I remember the last time when the Bread 11 Lows came out, that was a time when they was doing, like, I think it was like cherry lows, bread lows, I think it was like Concord lows, reverse, I think it was the tuxedo lows. Like it was a lot of lows, cool gray lows around that era, like when a lot of the Jordan 11 lows was coming out and stuff. And honestly, I'm not, even though I told y'all, like, I like the low cut design and stuff, and that's what I'm kind of leaning more so towards, and which I'm gonna give this one another shot. But I remember the first time when I had the Concord and the Bread lows, like I wore them, but around that time I was more so on the like the Bread Highs, Concord High. Like I was on the high cuts then, and the lows, they just wasn't, I don't know, it just like they weren't really doing it for me. But I am glad that I do have this one back in my collection, in which I'm gonna give it another shot and see if my mind has changed, being that I am leaning more so towards the low cuts now. But this isn't, I haven't worn this one as well, but eventually I do plan on rocking this one maybe in the summertime. I don't know. That's kind of when I start pulling out a lot of my lows and stuff like that. But definitely glad to have Bread 11 Lows back into the collection, and the fact that I don't have my Bread Highs, it still gives me that bread colorway that I can be able to rock. But that's Bread 11 Lows. And for the last one, we do have Shattered Backboard 1s, in which the Shattered Backboards don't hold the same power that they once held when they originally released. And it's crazy because I remember when the Shattered Backboards first came out, this was one of the rare sneakers that I didn't hit on, or not necessarily hit on, because back then I had like a lot of connections and stuff like that. But this was one that I just like, the resale was so ridiculous on these. Like I'm talking like upwards of darn near $2,000 from like a few of them that I remember like personally seeing with my own eyes, like 2,000, a lot of $1,000, 1,500, 1,200. Like resale was ridiculous, man. And it still might be ridiculous on, I don't know. But I remember when these first came out, it changed the whole landscape of quality, Jordan 1 quality, because everybody always referenced the Shattered Backboard 1s when it came to like just that quality and just the softness of the leather and stuff. And even to this day, when a Jordan 1 come out, every now and then, like, you'll hear a sneaker YouTuber or just someone mention like, hey, it don't have the Shattered Backboard quality. And it's just like this sneaker was that staple that really changed everything for the Jordan 1s and like for the quality and stuff like that. But when I seen that these was coming back out, I was excited about it, because like I said, this was one of the very rare sneakers that I didn't get a chance to add to my collection back then when the hype was ridiculous for the shoes and stuff like that. And just being able to get this in my collection way easier. Let me add that it was way easier to get these. And I feel like these sat, if I'm a lot of these shoes actually sat, but I think these had said as well, and it was one of those things where it kind of surprised me. And even going online, looking at like resale pricing, which I told y'all I'm not into like the reselling and all of that stuff, but I did want to just take a quick look just to see what it would look like compared to the shattered backboards that originally released. And if I'm not mistaken, I don't think I seen resale prices over 300. I want to say you could still get these like close to retail at the time of them releasing. I don't know what the resale is now, because like I said, I haven't gone back to check or anything, but I do remember like that same day or even like a few days after, I don't think I even seen these going over 300. But hey, I'm just glad that I got them in my collection and I ain't have to worry about that nonsense from the very first release of these. But we got shattered backboard ones in the collection. Okay, so that is all of my pickups for the year. Like I said, I think it was like 15, 16, 17 pairs, so something like that. And I want to say everything that I picked up this year I kept. I'm not 100% sure, because like I had told y'all a few years ago, I'm at the point now where I'm not, adding every single sneaker that releases. I'm not adding those to the collection. I might pick up a sneaker, do a review on it, so if it's something that you all might be interested in, of course y'all can go ahead and grab it and stuff. But a lot of times I'll do a review on the sneaker and either sell it, just get rid of it, take it back to the store or whatever. Cause it's just like I said, I'm just at the point now where I'm not trying to pick up every single thing that hits the shelves. I want to focus solely on sneakers that's either on my list or just stuff that I really, really like. So that stuff that I know that I'm aware. Cause back then I was getting shoes, I would have them for 5 years, 8 years, never even touched my feet. But I just wanted to say that I had them in the collection. But I'm at a different part of my life now, way smarter, way wiser when it comes to stuff like that. But that's it for the video. I do want y'all to let me know down below in the comment section, what is your favorite pickup of 2025. Also, let me know what's your favorite pair that you did see in my collection. Let me know what's your least favorite pair in my collection as well. We don't really get that too often. Y'all let me know what your least favorite pair is as well. And look forward to y'all in 2026. I do got a lot more content in store. I did, kind of add some stuff to the content bag this year that I was telling y'all about. And next year, I do plan to continue expanding that even more. But hopefully y'all enjoyed it. Y'all make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Stay positive and stay smiling. And without further ado, this is your boy Retro Quin. I'm out.